I'm Gail. I'm the owner of this place, and it was not my dream to own a comic book store, believe it or not. But when I was a kid, I was really young. What got me into comic books, I think it was my grandparents, actually. My parents taught me to read when I was really young, and I really wanted to read, so I couldn't be stopped. I was a voracious reader, and I couldn't get enough. And books, it just seemed like there weren't enough at my level to be able to fill the need that I had to read. So my grandma started bringing home little girl comic books, Little Audrey and Richie Rich and Betty and Veronica, stuff like that, Mickey Mouse comics and Donald Duck. And I liked that stuff, but after a while, by the time I was 8, I had seen Justice League and Superman and things like that at the Thrifties and on the wire rack, and that was what I wanted. And my grandma did not think that was appropriate reading material for a little girl, so she wouldn't buy it for me, and she didn't want me to have it. But one day my grandpa came up and he said, I'm going to go to Thrifties and buy some cigarettes. You want to come? And I said, no. And he said, yeah, you do. So he took me to Thrifties and he gave me $1.50, and that was enough for me to buy 10 comic books, and it was awesome. He told me I could get whatever I wanted, so of course I got Superman and Justice League and Batman. And at that time it was really so early that there was no Spider-Man yet, there was no Fantastic Four yet. Marvel Comics started around 1963, so this must have been about 1961, 62. So I was 6, 7 years old when all this was going on, and when we would come back to the house, he would turn me around and put all the comic books down the back of my shorts and tell me not to let Grandma see, and he'd have me run in and put them under my bed really fast. And so I would do that. I wasn't raised by my grandparents, but we spent a lot of time there because my parents got divorced when I was 8, and so over the summer she would take us and leave us for a week at a time. So I had a lot of time to read comic books. After I got out of high school, I moved out and got a job and everything, and it was a few years before I could really afford to buy comic books regularly anymore. And when I got started again, what started me back into it was this. This is the Sandman. And it was pretty different for comic books. It's not superhero stuff. It's a very sort of dreamy thing. It's written by Neil Gaiman, and this was the first time that he really came to prominence in this country, I think. He wrote a novel called Neverwhere, and that was did kind of well in Great Britain. They made a 6-part miniseries of it for the BBC, but here this was his first published work, and it was really cool. It's an epic. It's 10 volumes long. We always have it in stock, and it's very compelling reading. It's very interesting. If you're ever interested, take a look. Another one that caught my attention just a few years later is this one. It's called Strangers in Paradise, and this one is another one that's a non-superhero book, so it's kind of non-traditional for comic books, but it really caught my eye, and a lot of women like this. This is kind of a story about 3 people who are just trying to figure out what they want out of life and how to love each other and how to be friends and lovers and whatnot. And so it's a really cool book, and this one is also complete. So these books do not cycle in an endless second act. These ones are complete stories, and they have a beginning, middle, and end. So they're definitely worth checking out. What I like right now, I like Superman 80-page Giant this week. Some of the Superman stuff right now is a little bit dark because they're going through the whole last stand of New Krypton, and there are a whole lot of Kryptonians. So right now Superman isn't the last son of Krypton anymore. But this is kind of a light look, sort of harkens back to the 60s for me, where it doesn't have a lot of continuity attached to each of these stories. They're just little snippets out of Superman's life day to day. So I thought that was really fun. One of my other favorites right now, besides the Blackest Night stuff, which I really like, is Power Girl. Power Girl is really cool. It's really fun. Unfortunately, the creative team that's doing it right now is leaving at issue number 12. But Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti created this great, sparkling, light-hearted little comic book and really gave Power Girl a personality for the first time that I think is really definable. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of women's comics lack, Wonder Woman and all that. Buffy the Vampire Slayer has a great personality. Wonder Woman does not. Nobody really knows who she is. Power Girl didn't have a personality at all until these guys got a hold of her. And so it's been a great read. It's been really fun. Those are the things that I like right now. If you want to know what any of us here at the store like, we can make great recommendations for you. So come on down and meet us and check it out.